Hello, champions. It's Candace Owens. You're listening to The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve. I'm not exactly sure why I hate this fucking show, but normal people seem to enjoy it, so here I am. Enjoy the show, don't enjoy the show, do whatever you like. I'm just here for the paycheck.
Well, I don't think you're going to get it. I don't think you're going to get it, Candace, but we appreciate the intro.
I don't think she wants people to do what they want to do anyways. I honestly don't even know who Candace Owens is. I've seen a couple of videos of Destiny destroying her. Other than that, I don't know who she is.
Yeah, she just talks a lot of shit, dude. And I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying that people of color can't be Republicans, but it seems to me, anyway, that when they are, I wouldn't know what to call them because I don't want to say the wrong word. But do you understand what I'm trying? Yes, that's great. Yeah, just an idiot, dude, to go over and talk. But I guess it seems like they get more attention for what they want to say because it comes in an unlikely vessel.
That could be. You know, I mean, we've talked many times about the conservative sheep out there. They suck up that, conservative media stuff. The Ben Shapiros, the Limbaughs, the Hannitys. I mean, they love it. They love having their garbage regurgitated back to them in ways that liberals don't. So, yeah, I could see them saying, like, hey, not only is she a woman, she's black. Like, that's awesome. That makes us look so good.
Right. We can't say that, people of color aren't voting for Trump because she is, and she's going to tell you about it.
Yeah, listen, there's an exception to every rule. Are the majority of black people or women supporting Trump? Obviously not. But are some? Sure.
It's also funny because, I just did it there. I mean, we constantly classify the black vote as a group, we're all individuals, so how's it going to go? But we need to look at the majority, right?
They are a group. I'm not saying they all vote the same way, but white people, black people, male, female, those are groups, and it's okay to look at them and see how they're voting as a trend. So, yeah. But anyways, I'm glad Candace decided to lend her 2 cents because that's about all it's worth. So.
If that. We're not mailing a check. Right. We're the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve. Welcome to the podcast. Just kind of right into it today.
That's how we roll. We don't plan any of this stuff out. It's honestly a form of improv and news, commentary, politics, pop culture. A couple of radio guys here that have decided to go into the podcast world. So, we do have some qualifications.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. You can find our website, thevocalminority.net. And, yes, you can find us on the social medias. We've got the Twitter. We've got Instagram. We've got Threads. We've got Reddit. We got Facebook. They're there. Things happen there. But the real party is going on at YouTube. And especially now, I have to point out, TikTok.
We need to thank the work that's been going on over at TikTok, dude.
Yes, amen.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Lord.
In the last 30 days, the number of followers, I don't even know if I know the right word. It's more than quadrupled. It's like tentupled or something.
Yeah, that'd be about right.
Yeah, it's a technical term. You may want to
look it up if you don't know it.
And same with our likes for the page. It's all beefing up and doing well. And this past week, thanks to you people out there, we had our first, what I will call a viral hit. I did Google the definition of viral, Nick, and there's 10 different definitions.
What did you gather from all of them combined?
The most extreme one said you need 5 million views in 24 hours, which, come on. I mean, that's like international global news kind of viral.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, huge stories we hear all the time don't get that many views sometimes.
Exactly. The minimum view was, or the minimum definition of viral was tens of thousands in a 48-hour window. So 10, 20, 30, 45, 1,000. And we have a video that is our biggest hit for that page, and quite frankly, our biggest hit for any of our pages. We officially hit 50,000 views.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I'm slightly sorry the 50,000 of you saw us, but we got it. We got it to 50,000 smartphones, tablets, or whatever it is. And no, I'm not sorry at all. I feel quite good about it all.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, dude. We've been talking about recently. We've just started seeing so much motion on things as far as people subscribing, downloading, all that stuff, and we kind of started talking about it just in a thankful way. And look at that. You put good energy out into the world, and it comes back at at you, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, a big portion of what we talk about here is pop culture and politics, and especially politics right now it's just blowing up, and especially on our side, the liberal side of things. You know, there's a blue wave forming, the Kamala craze, the DNC last week with just speaker after speaker that was just one better than the next somehow.
Yes. Isn't that true, dude? I mean, there were a couple of things that I saw during the DNC that I thought, oh, that started kind of slow, but they all eventually ended up with like me, you know, wanting to do this on the couch. Like, yeah, like it was motivating.
I actually have an article about the renewed sense of patriotism going on the left, so we'll get to that. But yeah, you know, thanks to everyone who saw the video and shared it. It blew up a couple of days ago, and it just exploded for a good 2 days straight, and it's still picking up views. But it was, I was trying to reply to all the comments, and I mean, it was both exciting and exhausting. I was just constantly getting notifications, hundreds of views every minute. I mean, we just clicked up from 2,000, 5,000. Nick and I were like, could we hit 10,000? Then we kept, could we hit 20,000? Could we hit 30,000? Could we hit 40? Now we finally hit 50,000. 50,000 people.
You know what else amazed me, though, dude, is the comments. Like, you know, we put out these liberal videos, and most of the time, I feel like anyway, the majority of the comments are all like, F you, blah, blah, blah. There were so many great comments on there of the same ideals. You know, we think about things the same way. People were hoorah. I was like, yeah, this is nice.
That's a really good point you bring up, too, because, yes, we've had some videos before that get, you know, 10, 12,000 views, but a lot of it is hatred. You know, we piss off conservatives around here like flipping on a light switch. It's just effortless for us. And, yeah, a lot of the videos out there are, if I'm being generous, 50-50, you know, if you look at the likes versus the negative comments. But I got to tell you, this newest video that hit the 50,000 views is, I'm going to say, about 90% positive feedback.
Yes, dude, I would agree with that. And it's just crazy. I mean, a lot of people are saying the same things, but it's all representing pretty much the blue wave, you know, like that's all like people are like, yes, thank you. I feel so much better. Like
it felt good to be able to respond to some positivity and to be part of this momentum going on. And to apparently say something that resonated with people. I mean, the whole thing, my little prediction was kind of off the cuff. I didn't actually come in here like, I'm going to make some bold prediction that the internet will love. Like,
it got me thinking. I was like, 50,000 videos. We got to get Steve. He's got to become that old character from Johnny Carson, you know, where like you predict things as a segment. But then I was like, no, you can't recreate magic, dude. That just happened by itself. So
somewhere between Karnak and The Simpsons.
Yes.
Yes. I told my kids, I said, hey, people want to hear my predictions. I'm a prophet. No, I'm Blue Jesus. I am Blue Jesus, everybody.
Oh, that's funny, man. Well,
yeah,
you're never going to keep a prediction down if you're feeling it. So just let them fly when you feel it, Stephen.
I will. And so many people chimed in with, boy, I hope you're right. And the further we got into all these views, I started replying, I hope I'm right, too, because a lot of you are watching this video now.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure now, dude.
Right. But I also told several people, I feel pretty safe in those predictions, which the predictions were that Trump's going to melt down in the first debate and embarrass himself. And the second prediction was that what was my
he's going to jail for 2 to 4 years.
Right, 2 to 4 years. Yeah. I sort of felt like that was predicting like the rain tomorrow is going to be wet. Like those seem like safe predictions to me. But
I'm with everyone else. Like obviously I want those things, but yeah, I hope so. I'm not confident, but I love your confidence.
Well, and we see today in the news cycle, Trump is trying to lay the groundwork to back out of the first debate now, which I don't know if he saw the video and he's just trying to stick it to us, but I still say he's not backing out. He'll show up to the first one. His ego will necessitate that. But I do think he's laying the groundwork as to why he will be embarrassed. You know, it's ABC, they're biased against me, you know, like.
Yeah. I just saw, I read something real quick on it and they were talking about, Kamala's changing, what we agreed to and blah, blah, blah. And one of them was that she doesn't want the mics to be muted.
Right. Why do you think that is, though?
Look as dumb as you want, dude. Just keep going.
She agrees with my core premise there, that he cannot control himself. He will have a meltdown. And if a black woman is putting him in his place and verbally berating him, so she wants him to have the opportunity to melt down, and she wants to tell him, sir, I am talking right now. This is, So they're smart. They're trying to set him up to do what what we see coming, that he will have a meltdown. So whether she gets that rule or not, I don't know if it matters. Just show up and debate this man. You will destroy him. But yeah, the more you can do to set the trap for him to have that little implosion and look stupid, the better off.
And let me tell you this, dude, that, my wife used to be a prosecutor, and, obviously Kamala was a prosecutor, and I've never seen, I know it can be done because you see it on all the law TV shows as entertainment, because it is entertaining, but I've never seen it in real life so effectively done as when Rachel has taken somebody on the witness stand and he's got tiny dick syndrome, and she pushes him just a little bit until he freaks out. Yeah. And that's exactly what she will do to him.
Remember A Few Good Men? That's how Tom Cruise won the movie, right? He kept pushing Jack Nicholson. I want to know the truth. You got it. Like, if you can take a bravado man and poke at his ego enough, he will explode under the limelight and with the microphones on. And it's what, helped Tom Cruise win that trial. It's what Donald Trump's going to do in front of all of us. So get your popcorn. One debate will happen, even if he stalls it somehow. There will be a debate. His ego will not let him not do at least one. And I predict there only will be one, because he will back out of the rest.
I could see him walking off the stage at the debate, dude, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. I do. I could see that. And that would that would be exactly what I foresee coming, that he will have an epic temper tantrum. He will have a meltdown. He'll say dumb things. He'll look dumb. And if he storms off the stage, all the better.
Yeah, that'll be great. So
I can't wait.
All right. We made the prediction. But anyway, thank you for all the views on the video. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
This is Need to Know News. News you need to know.
Hello, Americans. This is Paul Harvey. Stand by for news.
Steve Harness.
Hey. Was that Fonzie or was that Tony Danza? I don't know what I just did there.
You did kind of a hybrid.
Okay, good. All right, so yes, the news cycle is heavily dominated by politics, and it does seem to be what the people want out there, so I got plenty of political news to get to. I'm going to actually combine a couple of stories because they're all on the exact same topic. This video that exploded, we certainly saw a lot of love, but there are some Trumpers out there that just can't see the forest through the trees. You're really just talking to a wall when you talk to a lot of these people,
Yeah, for sure.
Part of me wants to think that if someone in your club, if your team, when they start telling you that the sky is blue, I want to think that would affect the rest of the people in the little cult. That it's not some liberal on the internet. It's not, Rachel Maddow or whoever. It's, if one of you tells the rest of you.
Right. If someone you respect tells you, hopefully you'd listen a little more.
Yeah, you would think. So a couple of stories on that topic there. Half of Trump's former cabinet secretaries have not backed his 2024 bid. I just want you to think about this. In my job, I hire people, which is one of my least favorite things to do. But, I often interview people. And most people know how to present themselves in an interview. There's been a lot of interviews where I leave it thinking, hey, he seems like a nice person, So the key is you really have to call people's references. Now, smart people will only obviously put good references down. But if you're diligent as an employer, if you see their employment history, you are smart to call and just ask for the human resources at their former company. And just ask, what's the opinion? Would you rehire him?
And I as far as Washington goes, I don't know if it's still this way, but when I hired people the last time, you could only ask that. That's all you could ask.
Yeah, there are a lot of rules. You're not supposed to. I don't know how this would or ever could be prosecuted, but you're not supposed to just disparage the person. You can answer factual questions like, did they show up to work on time? Things like that. Did they meet performance goals? But yeah, the classic question you ask and that they're allowed to answer is, would you rehire this person?
Right.
Now, if somebody tells you, no, I would not rehire that person, that is a screaming red flag.
And just right away, you think, oh, no, there's a tiny chance that they could be wrong and it'd be better over here, but it's just not worth the trouble, to find out.
Now, can you imagine, Nick? Now, at the radio station, I'm the boss, and I've hired everyone who works there. Could you imagine if I handpicked all of you, I hired you all, and then you all turned around and were like, Harness is crazy. Do not ever hire that guy. Like, I handpicked you people, and you're still saying you should never hire me, never want to work with me again?
Yeah, it'd be crazy, dude. I mean, it'd be a bad boss.
Yes.
Bad leader.
So the Washington Post did a whole little expose here and asking the key question about these cabinet members. And a quote here from the Washington Post. It is it's rare for cabinet members to not support the president that they served. They're normally some of the president's most loyal supporters because of what I just mentioned. They're handpicked. But in the case of Trump's cabinet, these uniquely qualified insiders, spanning from the vice president to chiefs of staff, to covering dozens of agencies from agriculture, commerce, homeland security, transportation, they are all deeply divided as to whether or not Trump should ever return to power. By the Post's count, 42 people served in Trump's cabinet when he was president. 24 of them, roughly 57%, are now publicly supporting him, which means roughly half are not. And by the way, they're being very generous. Good example here. It's worth emphasizing that the Post's assessment is rather generous to the former president. For example, former White House Chief of Staff John Kelly has been brutal in his condemnations of Trump, but he has not officially said that I'm not supporting him. He's just saying, like, I've said what I'm going to say, I'm bowing out. So the Post is not counting him as one of the detractors.
Yeah. So it's probably far less than half, dude.
Exactly. I mean, as of a year ago, 40 of the 42 had said they weren't going to support him. Yeah. So some of them have come back down. And I am seeing a liberal meme out there stating that fact that 40 of the 42 aren't supporting him. That was true a year ago. It's come down a little bit, but still, if roughly half of the people that he handpicked say stay the hell away from this guy,
dude, if you had 20%, you'd start to think like, 20%, that's quite a bit. Like, they want nothing to do with them. I mean, it's way higher than that. Like, there's obviously something wrong, dude. There's obviously something wrong.
I mean, if one person told me don't ever hire that person, that would be a major alarm bell. But if multiple people.
Yeah.
Leads me to my second article here. More than 200 Bush, McCain, Romney alumni endorse Harris for president and criticize Trump. More than 200. These are former Republican staffers that either served in Republican White Houses or, high-ranking senators like John McCain, who ran for president, of course, and is considered an American hero. Over 200 of them have come out against. And by the way, 8 of them spoke at the DNC last week.
Proudly, by the way. I mean, you could tell some of them when they came out, they may have felt like they were in the Shark's tank because, they looked a little nervous coming out, but like they were proud to denounce what they had been a part of before. And it was inspiring just to see like, oh, we got one back, even if it's not a lifelong Democratic association, right? Like the people were saying, I love my country more than I love my party. And that was the thing that they were pounding in, dude.
I mean, it is political and career suicide for any Republican to go speak at the Democratic National Convention, let alone to show up and then admonish the current candidate that Harris is running against. I mean, that really speaks volumes. Yeah. It's like a Klan guy showing up at the, like the NAACP convention and being like, holy crap, was I wrong? These other people are crazy. You don't support anyone I used to hang out with.
Yeah, I would realize now I was in a cult. Like, oh my gosh, that's a terrible place to be.
Now, I don't think any of those people, all of the Trumpers, will find ways to spin it. They're all rhinos, Republicans in name only. They're all traitors to the cause.
Yeah.
And yeah, Trump has co-opted that party, and that needs to end one of these days. We need like a real second party for us Dems to be running against, but it's not going on right now. And like we keep saying, I don't think any of this is going to change any mega minds, but I hope the center of the country, the undecided voters out there, for the love of God, please be paying attention. Yeah. Hundreds of Republicans are coming out saying, do not support this man. Not even just like, I disagree on policies, like staunchly saying this man is not in favor of democracy, the Constitution. He is bad for our country. Do not elect him again.
I grew up with my mom telling me, like, you are the company you keep, right? It couldn't be more apropos to this. Like, people are saying, oh, I don't want to be that. You think I'm that?
It's one thing to leave the cult and slink away into the darkness and never be heard or seen from again. But to actually stand up at a conference like that and speak out, it really does speak volumes.
I want to reiterate, we talked a little bit last week about the fact that I'm in a position, I've told some people this, some conservative people, And I'm not trying to belittle anything here, but I'm saying that if it's me you're worried about, like you don't want to admit, like I was wrong, I'm welcoming. I'm going to forgive you, dude. I'm ready to forgive people who are going to stand up and say like, yeah, I was wrong, dude. I'm not going to think poorly of you. I'm going to cut it and move forward. Come out. If you're having any trepidation about that, there's a lot of people that are either going to be like, it's okay, or I feel the same way. Like it's happening everywhere.
Any backlash you get from your former cult, you're going to get tenfold the opposite from the Dems. People that will say, thank you for being on the right side of history. Thank you for stepping forward and doing the right thing, for putting country over party, because it is the right thing. And we are seeing a lot of Republicans saying that they're going to vote for Harris. And it's a great thing. And the more of them that step up and say that kind of thing, the more it'll make the others feel comfortable. Because no one wants to be out there alone.
Nope.
But when people like this announce, like, it's okay to denounce Trump, I think more and more will.
Yeah, I think you're right. Another prediction that I think you're right on, Steve.
We shall see. And by the way, the silent ones that will never step forward because they are too afraid, that's fine. Just, we know how you're going to vote. You're either going to sit it out or you're going to vote for Harris or write in Mickey Mouse. I don't care. As long as you're not voting for Trump,
Yeah.
And one last little story I'll just throw in here real quick. Speaking volume, I guess this is speaks volumes, is appropriate. We've talked about on the show before that the MAGA crowd really hates it when they get called up by the cool kids. We brought this up in Green Day at New Year's Eve. They changed a line in American Idiot to, I don't want to be part of the MAGA agenda. And the MAGA freaked out. And we talked about the fact that, Green Day's, they're the cool kids. They're a cool rock and roll band that everyone loves. And the Trumpers hate it when the cool kids call them out.
Yes.
We had another great example here this past week. One of my favorite bands, Foo Fighters. They're not having it with former President Donald Trump. When he did this little speech with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., they came out to the song My Hero by Foo Fighters.
Ooh.
So this is funny, though. The rock band offered, at first, just a one-word response on Twitter when they were asked about, could Trump, did you guys give him permission to use My Hero? The only thing they posted, Nick, was just the word no.
Dude, we're going to leave it at that for now.
Right.
Wow.
Dave Grohl, by the way, frontman for Foo Fighters, former drummer for Nirvana, which I'm so disappointed in how many people don't know that, but.
Yes, yeah.
He's previously called Trump a massive jerk. Since this has become a big news story, though, more has come out, adding, let us be clear. A spokesperson for Foo Fighters told Billboard magazine that the Trump campaign did not ask for permission to use the song and that the band, quote, would not have granted it. Spokesperson went on to say that the appropriate actions are being taken against the Republicans' campaign and that the royalties that the band may receive for Trump using it, going to donate it to Kamala Harris's campaign.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. That is so awesome.
They're fighting Foo and they're fighting MAGA. So kudos to you, Dave Grohl and company.
They're fighting Foo. That's good. That's fantastic, dude. I've heard rumblings of a suing. Like you shouldn't have done that, dude. I mean, I don't want to be affiliated with you in any way. That's crazy. I'm so glad they're standing up and have made that statement.
And how many times do we hear this from rockers? I mean, Tom Petty was a recent example. I mean, this goes back forever and ever. But how often do you ever hear of some conservative musician telling a Democrat, don't use one of my songs? There aren't very many conservative musicians, but
not of quality.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're writing songs worth using at the rallies. But again, we're the cool party. We got all the cool celebrities. We got Oprah. We got George Clooney. We got Foo Fighters. They hate that shit. And I love it when they stand up and throw their support in. Whether it's Foo Fighters, seeing Oprah. I mean, I'm not some Oprah fan, but even she gave a motivational, inspirational speech at DNC.
She did. She's a hell of a speaker. Hey, you think back, this is an artist that I'm sure most of the MAGA crowd either gets down with or did at one time. But you remember Trump kept coming out to Rockin' in the Free World. No, you can't use that. Well, he gave it to the DNC to use at the convention, which I thought was fantastic. They asked his permission. He was like, please.
Right. Because they probably knew he would say yes. Yeah. Sometimes in the legal world, it's easier to ask for, forgiveness than permission. And usually the cease and desist is the first step, and most people just say, okay, and they'll stop. But yeah, someone like Neil Young's a great example, and probably a better recent example is Beyonce. Her big hit song, Freedom. She told Kamala, you have my total blessing to use it. And then Trump turned around and used it. She immediately sent cease and desists to the Trump campaign. Don't fucking use my song.
It's just fantastic, dude. And no, you don't get it. This is the thing I wonder at these Trump rallies that are still kind of happening. Is anyone going to stand up and say no more YMCA? And that song does not match the vibe of what your people are wanting at this point.
That's a great question. I've never understood. He just needs that white guy dance that he can do to the YMCA, because otherwise, there's no lyrical point to that thing, and it's sort of overtly a gay anthem. I don't know if they understand the irony of their anti-gay agendas. Yeah. And then Trump comes out scooting to YMCA.
See, it should be coming out to Dancing Queen, right?
Right. Is he trying to admit something to us? YMCA, I might be gay. I don't know.
Well, good on Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters, dude. That's pretty awesome. Another one bites the dust.
This is Need to Know News. News you need to know.
Hello, Americans. This is Paul Harvey. Stand by for news.
Where's Nick?
I'm going.
Get over here, Nick.
All right. It's fun to stay at the God, dude. Stop already. Let's talk about his idiot boyfriend, JD Vance, and just the clusterfuck that this has become, I think, for him. I mean, are you on the same page with me that in a dark room by himself, he's thinking like, oh, what did I do? What did I do?
1,000,000%. Yeah. He picked JD when he was feeling cocky. Biden was still in the race. He figured he could throw the tech billionaires a bone because JD's a big Silicon Valley guy. This was when Elon Musk was flirting with giving whatever it was, $50 million a month that never came to fruition. And now JD's become a national joke. He's embarrassed the crap out of him. You'll notice Trump is hanging out in Mar-a-Lago a lot and sending JD out. I think that's what he wanted, was just someone else to go do the work. But yeah, Vance is falling on his face, and it's a gift. It's a gift to all of us.
It is. It's fun to watch. I mean, let me preface this by saying that I don't think there's anything wrong with this. Obviously, the pictures were released of JD Vance dressing in drag, and the only reason we point it out is because he's so against it. Once again, he's so hypocritical. Yes. But this guy, I'm telling you, man, we all know that he used to say, oh, I'm a never Trumper. Trump is basically Hitler, all that kind of stuff.
I'm a never Trump guy. Yeah,
there is a viral video going around TikTok right now with this remix.
I'm a never Trump guy. I'm a never Trump guy. I'm a never Trump guy.
Yeah, he's a never Trump guy.
I'm a never Trump guy.
He says something else here.
I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him. I never liked him.
Racism, xenophobia.
I think I referenced this last show because, yes, I'm seeing all of these housewives dancing to the Never Trump Guy video and just laughing and giggling because it's fun.
Yeah. And it is. It's just blowing up. I got an article on the fact that it continues to grow because they're playing it in clubs now and stuff like that.
He should come out to that song. Is that your suggestion?
That'd be fantastic, don't you think? Did you see him at the donut shop?
No.
All right, dude. All right, if you're ready for this, I'm just going to tell you. Okay. I will start out by saying Tim Walz went in. He was in Nebraska, which is where he was born. Okay. He went into a restaurant that is only in Nebraska. It's called Runza. Okay. It's one of my favorite restaurants. Anytime I'm home, I bring back frozen ones with me, the whole 9 yards.
You're familiar with it. It's not just hype, huh?
Oh, no. It's the real deal, dude. It's one of my favorite things to eat. I got them in my freezer now. But
better than Krispy Kreme?
Yeah. I mean, if I had to give up one or the other.
Oh, okay. So, that's a solid endorsement.
Yeah.
Send your checks to PO Box.
Or just send me free Runza, dude. My brother said you should try and get some free Runza out of this. So.
Runza. Let's see how this goes. Okay.
Yeah. But Tim Walz went into a Runza store and talked to a bunch of, young people and basically said, like, we were just actually outside, but we were coming in to grab something to eat. And he kind of talked to everyone real personable, and just people seemed really excited that he was there. JD Vance maybe a week later realized that, hey, I need some hometown connections. I need to go out and meet the people at my local donut shop. He walks into this donut shop, dude, and I've never seen anything more uncomfortable. It would do no justice for me to try and play the audio on the show. You need to watch it because it's so uncomfortable. But just type in JD Vance donut shop. He goes up to this girl that's working at the counter, and she says, I don't really want to be filmed, because I think she knew who he was.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey guys, just don't film her, but still film me. And he says, I'm JD Vance. I'm running for president. She says, okay. Like, I don't care. It is another, 4 minutes edited of him trying to talk to people and just saying, okay. And he's a robot, dude. He has no personality. He is not a representative of the people. He's the representative for some people, but it's not the people that we want in this country running things.
Yeah, I mean, he's a chameleon. Sometimes he's this good old boy from the Ozarks. Sometimes he's a tech, wannabe billionaire. And yeah, I think people have picked up on that. And as mentioned, in the pop culture world out there, JD Vance is a couch-loving joke of a human being that has housewives dancing to him being an Ever-Trump guy. So either this donut girl knew that and wanted nothing to do with him, or he just puts out the couch humper kind of vibe, and she was just a little, it's like when dogs meet a person and they don't quite like them. Like,
yes, you can tell, my dog's a good judge of character. You're exactly right.
People that work in donut shops are good judges of character.
Yeah, so. I go nuts for donuts, dude. I could have really gone in there and taught him a thing or two, but it was uncomfortable. He's a douchebag, obviously. My question for you, Steve, is do you think that the MAGA party is on board with him, or do you think they're tolerating him?
Oh, they're absolutely just tolerating him. I don't think anyone's excited about him. But those, culters, they're not going to ever speak out against the dear leader. If he picked David Duke, if he dug up Epstein and made him the VP, they would all find a way to support and endorse that, and they will never admit defeat. That was one of the things, too, recently. Someone was trying to tell us, we're in a cult because we all just rallied behind Kamala right away, coalesced, and so we're all in a cult. And
yeah.
As I pointed out to that moron who made that comment of, this is proof that we're not in a cult because you people will not admit the flaw of your candidate to save your own lives, literally your own political careers. We saw that Biden was flawed, and so we called an audible and we made a change. We've coalesced behind a candidate. That's what you do when you're not in a cult.
Yeah, 100%. And, Trump is trying to go around and, tell his supporters what a crime it is. Not only that we knocked Biden out, and he had already spent, $100 million campaigning. It's not fair, this, that, and the other thing. But he's like, I feel bad for the guy. Like, he didn't want to leave. They forced him out of there. It's a coup. He kept saying it's a coup. I was like, no, it's not, dude.
No, it's a silly notion that if Biden is the president, that someone could just, force him out of there.
Yeah.
But, now you get to deal with the hand you've been dealt. So have fun with it.
Then we find out, as JD Vance is out touring around this country because Donald Trump wants to sit at Mar-a-Lago, he is taking flight in a plane that Donald Trump purchased and just happens to be the confiscated jet of Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if Trump purchased it, but they've been leasing it or whatever.
You're right. I don't know why I thought that, but yeah, they've been leasing it and they just, repainted it, did the whole thing. Donald Trump has denied it. And then people were like, it's right here, dude. All the records of the numbers, the serial numbers, everything's the same. He was like, well, that's a JD thing. That's a JD Vance thing. Like, sure.
Yeah, again, that's the commentary on your dear leader right there. The buck is always supposed to stop with the leader, whether it's actually your fault or not. I've said many times, being the GM, like, all right, maybe it's not my fault, but it's my responsibility. Yeah. I'm the one in charge here, so it's got to stop somewhere. So, yeah, what a pussy of Trump to constantly be trying to pawn things off on others and blame other people.
And that is the definition, in my opinion, or one of the definitions of a great leader, is someone who can take the bullet, and just be like, you know what? Yeah, I'll take this one. I shouldn't have let it get through. And he has never done that, and he won't, so.
And we do know that Trump can take a bullet. Why can't he do it metaphorically?
All right, let's do another one.
This is Need to Know News. News you need to know. Start the news chant, please.
Come on.
I don't want to get Tenacious D going here on this program.
Please. First of all, I'm being very generous saying he took a bullet. I mean, come on. He was not shot. Can we all get over that? He wasn't shot.
No, dude. I mean, can I be honest? And this may make me seem crazy, but I don't even know if it was real. And that's, yeah, I don't even know if it was real. I don't know if I had the wool pulled over my eyes. And that sounds very, very MAGA of me to say that.
Listen, a lot of people are questioning it. But what are you questioning? That it was a bullet that hit him, that he got grazed with something else, that they set the entire thing up? Like, what do you...
I think it was a setup. I mean, I think it was a setup of sorts, at the very least, you know. I don't know if people were supposed to die that day. I don't know how everything went down, but I mean, I just don't think that it doesn't look right to me. None of it looks right to me.
In these scenarios, I tend to think that what it looks like is what it is. The Secret Service was incompetent. This guy that we still don't know what his motives were. FBI's latest theory is that he just wanted to do some public shooting, a grand scale, and Trump was coming in his backyard, basically. So he decided just to make him the target. But I don't know that the whole thing is fishy, but this bullet, quote unquote, the ear injury, is absolute fishy. I mean, first of all, the wound healed very, very quickly.
Oh, he healed the lobe, the upper lobe, that Trump calls it. But do you think that was real blood?
Yeah, I mean,
where did it come from?
It would have to be either entirely fake, so that, yeah, he had a blood pack ready to go and all that, which I just have a hard time accepting.
I do too.
If the FBI reports come out and it gets fishy, maybe I'll go there. But for right now, what I'm calling bullshit on is that he got shot with a bullet, an entire bullet from a high velocity rifle like that. Even if it grazed your ear, it would take a chunk of your ear off. It would singe it or burn it. I mean, I've heard so many ballistics experts or military docs or emergency room docs who, you know, sew up people that have been shot, saying that a bullet doesn't cut you. It would, you know, it would blow off, even if it just barely grazed you. It would take a little chunk of that ear off.
Yeah.
What was that cut from? Because even his doctor, who is not, you know, his that former weird Dr. Jackson or whatever, who's now an elected official, like, that's the only report we've seen, and it just pointed out that he had a cut that bled, and we had to, you know, try to stop the bleed. It didn't even require stitches.
No, dude.
I don't understand how a bullet could graze you even just slightly and cut you.
I don't get it either. You're right to say, you know what, for now, I'm just going to go with what we saw. You know, it wasn't right, this, that, the other thing. But it's odd. It's all very odd.
He didn't get shot. I will say that emphatically. Okay?
Yes.
Best case scenario, that was a piece of shrapnel, something that grazed him. But to say, as Trump has said, I took a bullet for democracy, go fuck yourself. You did not get shot. Okay?
No. And that is so insulting to anyone who has been shot.
Yes. How many times have we seen in the movie guys like, I've been shot, and the medic runs over and he says it's a flesh wound. Like, get up and get back in the fight. That person is always portrayed as a giant wussy. It's a flesh wound. You got grazed. Real people are getting shot around you. Get up.
Listen, not saying it wouldn't be scary, but let's tell the truth here about what happened. As far as, you didn't get shot, dude.
He got grazed for democracy. I'll give him that.
Okay.
All right. You referenced this earlier, the sense of patriotism that came out in the DNC last week. I mean, there was a lot of patriotic talk. I think there was more American flags there than I've ever seen at a Trump small dick truck rally. I mean, right? There were flags everywhere.
Everywhere, dude. I mean, it was incredible to see, really.
Yeah. So Huffington Post wrote an article, and the headline is, with Kamala Harris, it's cool for liberals to be patriotic again. And aren't you feeling like that is a true statement?
You know what? I've always felt so bad about it. We talked about a couple of weeks on the show that I have USA socks that have the USA on them. And like, I don't wear them because I just don't want people to think anything weird. Yes, dude. I think it's getting easier to be like, no, screw that.
Yeah. And you and I have talked, and I've heard a lot of people on the interwebs talk about the fact that the Trump party has somehow co-opted the American flag, where people feel like if you're flying an American flag, you must be a Trump supporter. And they snuck that one by us, and I want to undo it. We got to take that flag back, or at least neutralize it,
Yes. Yeah. The flag is for everybody. It doesn't mean anything more to you than it does to me. And let's throw in the word patriot back into that whole pile of crap, too, because you know what? I could be a patriot, and I don't want to say that because it has a new definition, apparently. So take that one back.
Yeah. Now we got to rewrite this stuff. According to a YouGov poll from earlier this year, 53% of Americans thought that Republicans were very or somewhat patriotic, while only 45% thought the same about Democrats. Now, that's not a huge divide, but it shows the majority think the Republicans are patriotic and slightly less think that Democrats are, which really is unfair and doesn't make a lot of sense, especially as we fight back against a wannabe, tyrant like Trump.
Yes.
But I will tell you, watching the DNC last week, Kennedy and I we caught almost every night of it. And like I mentioned earlier, I mean, so many inspiring patriotic speeches. The Obamas did a great job, but of course, I mean, Oprah did a good job. Buttigieg. I mean, everybody did a great job, really. I mean,
yeah, Walz did a great job, dude.
Yes. The 8 Republicans that spoke against Trump, they all did a great job. But yeah, especially that last night. So when Kamala got up there, I was not nervous like I was when Biden did his last debate, where I was like white knuckled. Please don't embarrass us all,
Yes.
But I sort of wondered after a week of all of those speeches. I mean, talk about going on after the Beatles.
Yeah.
Every speech was just bigger and better. So I was a little nervous about, just how would she shine? Would she just do okay? And first of all, I love the fact that Trump is trying to make fun of her. I don't know if you caught this, but at the beginning of her speech, she came out to thunderous applause. That stadium went nuts.
That's putting it lightly.
Right. And she kept saying, thank you, thank you. She's never been in front of a crowd like that. Most people never have. I mean, you've got to be freaking Mick Jagger to get a crowd to go crazy like that. Public speakers don't ever experience that.
Dude, you and I have been in front of some big crowds talking like that.
Yeah.
All I could think about was, oh my God, dude, that adrenaline rush. I mean, it'll get your mind fucked up because you get dizzy and you're looking at everybody with signs that say your name and, Kamala is hope and like, whoo-wee, gives me the chills talking about it right now.
Right. And it's so funny too, because Kennedy made a comment of like, I can't imagine walking out in front of a crowd like that. And I said, oh, I can. Because, Nick and I have done major events where we're setting up concerts, or I used to do the ball drop for New Year's Eve in Lake Tahoe. Like, I find it energizing as hell to be in front of a big crowd like that. But everyone does. But she kept saying, thank you, because she was trying to calm the crowd down. She needed to start talking at some point. Yeah. And so, I think it's funny that Trump was trying to make fun of her for trying to calm the thunderous applause that were raining down upon her.
It was like, what is she doing this? Thank you. She was trying to get a word in, and she eventually had to say, like, all right, let's get down to business. Like, people would not calm down.
There was a few of those speakers there where I wanted to tell them, like, you have a microphone, right? Just talk. A lot of people, I want to address the crowd. Like, stop yelling. Just talk in the microphone. They'll shut up. They'll hear you.
Yeah.
But yeah, she did a great job. But my point of this is Kennedy and I watched her speech. It was a great speech, obviously inspiring. She nailed it. She drove home the message. I will tell you, at one point, Kennedy jumped up and literally applauded and started singing, I'm proud to be an American. Like, this is a classic liberal who has been feeling defeated and beat down and uninspired by Biden and afraid of Trump. She literally jumped up on her feet, cheering for Kamala on TV. And when the speech was done, I will admit my ass was on the couch, but we were both cheering. Like, I'm applauding my living room for a person on TV.
There was a carbon copy of that exact scenario over at the Reynolds household.
Really? Yeah.
Like, Rachel got up a couple different times throughout it, and like got up and was hooting and hollering. I was clapping. I was emotional. I mean, probably, once a night watching the DNC. It just made me feel inspired emotionally,
Absolutely. Kennedy at one point had a tear rolling down her face, just a tear of joy. That she commented, like, I haven't felt this inspired in so long. Yeah. And when the last time I ever stood up and cheered during a Democratic speech or a presidential moment was?
I do.
2008.
2008, that Obama, the audacity of hope, dude. I mean, that got us driving again.
Yeah. It really does feel like 2008 again. I feel the momentum. I feel the energy. And if we all show up, we will win. We will win if we all show up. That's the key.
Yeah, if we all show up, these young people, these undecideds, all these people feeling inspired and like America is writing its course. If we all show up, we will win.
I saw an interesting little demographic breakdown the other day that showed that if the 18 to 29-year-olds vote in the same numbers that the 65 plus always do vote in, it would be an electoral landslide. I mean, we would win states like Florida and Texas if the youth were to show up.
Yeah, I mean, they have so much power, right? And so many, today's youth, I feel like anyway, is different than when I was their age, okay? I'm not saying I wasn't inspired to make this world a better place, but I was smoking pot and playing rock and roll. And of course I had good ideas and thoughts about this world, but this area of youth now are action takers. And if we can continue that and just get to the polls, you'll be able to lay all that action down you want, dude. And we welcome it.
It's why I feel some of the polling going on right now is actually underestimating Kamala's blue wave that's forming, because I don't think they're surveying that demographic of the 18 to 29-year-olds very well. And I do think it's going to be something that tips the scale. And speaking of Texas, by the way, in that video we posted on TikTok that got the 50,000 views, I put up a little electoral map that I made. I went to one of those websites where you can pick your own states.
Right.
And one of the states I have blue on that map is Texas. And several people, eagle-eyed, noticed that and commented like, hold on, you guys have Texas going blue. Like, do you really think that's going to happen? I looked it up. I will just point out that Biden lost Texas to Trump in 2020 by 600,000 votes.
That's nothing in the grand scheme.
Right. In the grand scheme, that is nothing. And with this new momentum that Kamala has, I absolutely think she can make up 1 million votes in the state of Texas. So I don't think it's preposterous at all to think that she could win a Texas or a Florida. The momentum is real. And I really do think everyone's going to be kind of shocked come election day.
I think things are going real good around here, but we need to keep pounding into people, keep the momentum going, dude. We can fight this until November and get this thing over the finish line.
Yes, that is 100% key. And that was one of the last things in that video clip I said that a few people pointed out of I said, don't get cocky and not vote, because that's how we'll screw this up. If we all just think we got this in the bag, do not think that. We have got to show up. But I'm telling you, if we all show up, we will win.
That's what happened in 2016. We got cocky, dude.
Exactly. So just to circle back to the point of this article, Democrats, liberals, centrists, anyone voting Kamala, it's okay to be patriotic, to be proud, to have the American flag, to show up on Election Day and take this freaking country back.
Yes, we are proud to be an American.
This is Need to Know News. News you need to know.
It's the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve. Welcome to the podcast, and thank you for being here. Let's talk a little bit about Jasmine Crockett, just because I thought she had a soundbite this week that was worthy of playing, and she was talking about what we were just talking about. Let's not get cocky about things. We seem to have a good blue wave going here, but let's not get cocky.
I absolutely believe we can get election results on November 5th.
Yeah, okay.
But I think that it's one of the reasons we're stressing that we have to overperform.
Yes.
We have to stretch ourselves. Right. We can't just be on the fringes. We got to beat the dog shit out of these motherfuckers. I'm just saying.
Live on TV. And I love Jasmine Crockett, dude.
I don't know who she is. Who's Jasmine Crockett?
She's just Congresswoman, and she's the one who told Marjorie Taylor Greene that bleached beach body,
Yeah, it's just. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. I love she let the F-bomb fly.
And the people next to her were just kind of like, whoa, but there it goes. And that is the truth. We need to beat them that bad. So
we really do. And it's somewhat sad to me. I mean, first of all, the national poll numbers don't mean anything. We elect people state by state. But the more we buffer that number, the more it will ripple into the Electoral College. Obviously.
Yes.
But the other big concern that a lot of, smart people, Rachel Maddow probably being the loudest voice out there, is trying to point out that Trump officials have been installed in key electoral positions in swing states like Georgia, like Arizona, where these people may simply just choose, I'm not going to certify the results of this election. I refuse. What are you going to do? It's going to go to the Supreme Court. And as we know, Trump has packed the Supreme Court. So we could really be looking at a truly scary situation where key officials just refuse to certify the vote. It goes to the Supreme Court, and they get to pick the president. That is insane. That's why we got to pad that number. We need to crush him so there is zero chance. And that's not how elections are supposed to work. We shouldn't have to feel that way. But this is the world we're living in. He's going to push back on these results, guaranteed. That's why he keeps saying he doesn't need the votes. I don't need your vote. You can stay home, because he's got his plan B, which he knows is probably plan A, because he knows he's going to lose.
Yeah, well, and this is why we are yelling from the streets. This is a vote to save democracy. It truly is. I mean, that's not hyperbole. Not to go all Joe Biden on you. That's not hyperbole, folks. That's a real deal.
It really is. And yeah, I know it sounds like hyperbole or we're freaking out, but it's not. No. He's already talking about January 6th, having another version of that. He's holding a fundraiser for the January 6th people.
Yeah, let me play a little audio for you. And Ben Meiselas from the Midas Touch Network will describe a little bit about this event that you're referencing.
Donald Trump is sending out invites to an award gala that he is hosting September 5th called the January 6th Awards Gala. It will be taking place at the Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster. That is where his first wife, Ivana, is buried in the back lot in a unmarked grave with shrubs growing over it. Trump has announced that he will be hosting this January 6th Awards Gala in this invite, and says that on September 5th, he, Rudy Giuliani, and other guests will, quote, pay tribute to all January 6th defendants who have shown incredible courage and sacrifice.
I mean, that's crazy to me, dude. Like, if that doesn't give you the chills that this man has not only said, yeah, if I'm elected, I'll pardon them all. I'll put these bastards back out into your streets, the ones that I keep telling you only I can make safe. But to have an award ceremony, I mean, there was maybe 6 months back, they came up with this J6, song that they put together. Trump was boasting about how it was number 1 on iTunes, like he wants all of this shit to happen, and it's disgusting. It's sick. It is so un-American that if you cheer for this, you need to look in the mirror and really ask yourself, do I really know what democracy, do I really know what this country is all about if I'm cheering for that?
It is beyond disgusting. These are the people that claim they back the blue and are pro-law enforcement. Yet, as we know, I mean, cops got savaged that day by Trump supporters in their peaceful protest. And yeah, to be calling to pardon them, to be doing this award ceremony. I mean, all of us normal people watched January 6th unfolding in real time and were shocked and disgusted.
Yeah.
And even Trump back in the day did his best not to support them, but he didn't come out on January 6th be like, it's fine. I love these people. I would pardon them. I'll throw a party for him someday. But he's just gotten rid of any pretense that, he was, oh no, I was doing my best. Nancy Pelosi refused my help. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Now he's, outright supporting insurrectionists, criminals, cop beaters, un-American cult members in a public party like this.
An attempted overthrow of the government, dude. Listen to me when I say that these people that were going in, they played a video during the Democrat National Convention. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see the video that they showed of Jan 6 at the Capitol?
No,
dude,
I don't think I did.
I mean, again, this is not hyperbole. It could have been like a Tom Cruise, alien movie. I was just sitting there staring at my TV, eyes wide open, thinking, holy shit, dude. The stuff that went down that way has been so watered down by Fox News and propagandists and this was nothing. This wasn't that bad. They didn't have all the video, blah, blah, blah. But this was a huge attack, dude. This was unbelievable.
Of course. One of the big talking points I'm seeing Because conservatives all seem to circulate the same talking points for the comment sections or their little TikTok videos.
Yeah.
I keep seeing this one over and over that, somebody shot Trump and us Republicans didn't riot. We didn't take to the streets and burn down America, as if that somehow makes them good people. I mean, two things I want to say to that. First of all, January 6th, you idiots did take to the streets. You did riot. You broke into the Capitol. I mean, so don't claim that you're the group that never riots. But more so, what's your effing point? You deserve credit because Trump got shot and you didn't go riot? I didn't riot today. Do I get a cookie? I didn't kill anybody today. You're going to pat me on the back? Like, right, it's that old Chris Rock bit about wanting credit for something you're not supposed to do anyways.
Right. Yeah, you're so right, dude. They do. They want credit for that and to use it as that talking point and example. But it's false equivalency. I mean, we're not talking about the same thing here.
I don't even know what their point is, by the way. Like Democrats, when have we taken to the streets to burn cities down? I know some protests get out of hand, but not when you compare them to, I don't know, your team winning the championship.
You're 100% right. When you see something go down in Boston, or we have seen huge fires and cars and thrashings and everything like that. That's not even for social injustice, dude.
Kudos to you for not rioting today, everybody. You all get a big award, an unparticipation trophy for not rioting today.
Yeah. So. To wrap this up, Steve, I want to say that think about the things that he's trying to do with these Jan 6 people, and it really should bother you, okay? And that's it.
It really does bother me. So mission accomplished. So there you go.
All right. Well, that'll do it for the show then. The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve. Again, thanks for being here for the podcast. We have a couple of them we drop on you each and every week.
Yeah, a couple every week. And do click the subscribe button if you're one of the people listening to the full podcast. We appreciate you. And for everyone listening and watching all the videos online, huge thanks to all the support we've been seeing, and keep sharing it all. Like I said, YouTube and TikTok are the ones where it's really blowing up for us pretty nicely. But we're on Threads, Instagram, Twitter, X, Facebook, and all that stuff too. So find it and share it.
And we appreciate it. We'll see you again.
Hello there, champions. You guessed it. It's George Clooney. Taking a break from drinking baby blood and sending emails that change the course of America. Just stopping by to thank you for doing your part for democracy. Thanks for listening to The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve.